أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام را كتاب أحكمت آياته ثم فصلت من لدن حكيم خبير ألا تعبدوا إلا الله إنني لكم منه نذير وبشير وأن استغفروا ربكم ثم توبوا إليه يمتعكم متاعا حسنا إلى أجل مسمى ويؤتي كل ذي فضل فضله وإن تولوا فإني أخاف عليكم عذاب يوم كبير. This is Surah Hud. Hud al-Islam was a prophet and he was sent to us Qawm Ad. The same Qawm Ad who were very tall and heavy figure. Allati lam yukhlaq misluha fil balad. Like them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not create anyone else in the land. They were so big, huge people. And Hud alayhi salam was sent to them. Now, remember a few things. Abu Bakr Siddiq radhiyallahu anhu, when he saw in beard some whiteness of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Ya Rasulullah, what is making your hair white? Because Abu Bakr Siddiq radhiyallahu anhu was so close to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He used to look after for everything and anything of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He almost lost all his business sort of earnings for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whatever he had given the way of Allah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he asked, Ya Rasulullah, what it is that your hair I could see that becoming white. So Rasulullah ﷺ said, it is surah like Hud and the other surah like it that is making me old. Does it make sense? So this is that powerful, that worrisome surah, and therefore we should try to find it out what it is that Rasulullah ﷺ used to feel very weighed down, so heavy about surah like Hud and the other surah, because they were revealed in the last phase of Makkah. Remember, I want to highlight a few things here. When any movement starts, because Islam was a movement, a dynamic force, a revolution. It was not a static, as a matter of fact, some information was given. No. It was not a reformation movement. You should pray, This is not right. You claim yourself to be a believer and you don't pray. You should pray and you should fast and you should not do bad things. You should do good deeds. This is reformation movement. But dynamic movement, going to change things upside down, the whole system. So therefore, when any movement starts, be it Islamic or non-Islamic, even communist or others, or whatever you could call, any movement when it starts, remember this. To start with, it is not given any respect. Remember what phase it has to go through so that you understand what Islam went through. So it does not get any respect. No one talks about it. And the people think it is a new fag. It is a new kid in the block. That's it. Nothing more. The way it has come, it will finish. It will disappear. The young people, they have got some new views. Gradually they realize that no, what we thought was a new fag or new fashion, it is much more than that. So it is getting deep roots in the home, in the families now. So husband is accepting, or the wife is accepting, the brother, the sister, the father, the son. So in the whole family, it is talk now. It is the talk of the household. This new religion and new philosophy has come, new deen has come, and this is the man under bracket, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's what he says, and so on. So now it is the talk of the town, so the people take it seriously. But only seriously enough, just ignore. Or poke a fun at it, poke a joke, tazheek, istahza, make a fun of it. Oh, come on now. I have heard all this, and these sort of things have come and they have disappeared, dissipated. So first stage is ignoring. Second stage is poking fun at it. Now third stage, persecution starts. When they realize that you can't just simply ignore and it will go away, you can't make fun and poke jokes and it will go away, no. So now they start persecution. And persecution has got different stages. First they persecute their own children, their own grown adults of their family. And then gradually they realize it is this man who has lit the fire in every house of Makkah. So therefore let us finish him then. So then at the end, assassination attempt at Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you remember a very popular story of Umar Farooq radhiyallahu anhu when he was going with a naked unsheathed sword. So let us finish him because he is the real problem maker. So here now it is in the last phase. Persecution at its height. The Muslims have left Makkah, gone to Ethiopia, Habsha Ula, Habsha Sani, and now at the cusp of leaving Makkah even, because they can't live in Makkah, they have to leave now for Medina. So therefore, now the persecution is going on. This Surah Hud talks about the azab. That you have got only two choices. Either listen to the Prophet or otherwise you are done with. And that's the reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Qawmi Lut, punishment, and the others. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tradition or sunnah is. If you don't accept the Prophet, you're going to be upside down. You're going to be finished. You're going to perish. So that's the reason. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was very uncomfortable that I hope not my qawm perishes. I hope my qawm is not annihilated by azab min Allah. So that's the reason. The few hairs, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't have much of a white hair, remember that, because I don't want to go you to go away from here with the impression that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mashallah had a white beard. No, just few hair, but even that was enough to worry about Siddiq radhiyallahu anhu. The second thing is, it gives the information that on this earth, someone who has got the money, the comfort, the luxury, the hali mahali, the people around them, some in front, some on the back, and this, that, and the other, that is not a sign that Allah is happy. That is what the Makkans used to make. That the people who have got a lot of children and has got money, has got big business dealing, has got a large tribe, after all, Allah must be happy with him. That's the reason he's in such a good shape. And also they used to think that the people who are in bad shape, who are either afflicted with the disease or afflicted with the poverty, have got a small tribe, not too many people around. So they used to think that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is upset with him. So the prosperity is a sign that Allah is happy, and the poverty or bad shape is a sign that Allah is unhappy. It negates that both are nothing but test and trial and tribulations. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests someone by making him poor and someone by making him rich. He wants to see if he becomes rich. Does he think that in his wealth is the share of the poor, the orphans, the widows, the downtrodden and the destitute? Or does he think it is my right, it is my money, and I will spend wherever I wish, whatever way I want? What does he do? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing him. What does he do with the money, with the talents, with the resources? This is one test. And the second is with the poor, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is again testing him. So this Surah Hud. So therefore you should try to see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you ease and comfort, don't be big-headed now. Don't develop that attitude that you are something. And similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here, it talks that in the society, the change will only come if there is a reasonable number of people they work for change in the society, in the community. Does it make sense? Change will not come automatically. Like Muslims, we have got always, all along from very early childhood, I heard that, you know the problem of the Muslims? No. They no leadership, you know. So we have got no good leadership. So it's the problem of the Muslim Ummah is lack of leadership. That's nothing but rubbish and nonsense. And all along I used to say that that is wrong. You know why? Because the leadership comes from the Qawm. As the Qawm, as the leader. You will say, you are telling yourself. I give you an example of Dalil. Rasulullah ﷺ said, you will keep on doing Amr bil Maruf or Nahi al Munkar. Otherwise, remember this? Two conditions. You will keep on enjoining good, keep on telling the people to do good, and keep on stopping or preventing people from doing evils. And the hadith, Man ra'a minkum munkaran فَلْيُغَيِّرَهُ بِيَدِهِ وَإِنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَلْيُغَيِّرَهُ بِلِسَانِهِ وَإِنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَلْيُغَيِّرَهُ بِقَلْبِهِ وَهَذَا أَضْعَفُ الْإِيمَانِ. Rasulullah said, so Amr bil Maruf Nahy anil Munkar is so important. That's the last bit of Iman. So Rasulullah said, you will keep on doing Amr bil Maruf, enjoining good. Keep on telling people to do good, preventing people from doing any evil and advising them. Otherwise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make over your head tyrants and brute hukam to an extent that you will send lana on them and those hukam will say lana on you. Exactly the same thing is happening now. We curse and abuse, we show hatred against our hukam and our hukam show against us. But on our head are tyrant and brute, zalim hukam we have got. So it is not the leadership, it is the qawm. As the leaders, as the qawm. Or as the qawm is, similarly we will have leadership. It's very simple. So we have to change ourselves. Don't keep on making someone as a scapegoat. We have to change ourselves, each one of us. But we don't want to change because change requires sacrifice, which I don't want to do. I don't want to give sacrifice. I want to just simply get the Islam and all its barakah, wishy-washy without hard work. But Rasulullah sallallahu time, the people, they obviously, they gave sacrifice to an extent that we feel surprised. Quran says, Alif Lam Ra Kitabun Uhkimat Ayatuhu. This book has the ayah, the revelation, this book, Quran, ayah, they are perfected, summa fussalat, then elucidated, then explained in detail, milladun hakimin khabir, by the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is all aware. So now these ayah are perfected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now look, Quran says, which we have to teach our children as well, because it is a big problem. You will not realize, because when I was trying to do research for writing the book, I realized it is that big, because you see, what does not happen in my house, or I do not hear from few of my colleagues, I would not know what's going on. But I was surprised. This is in the West very common. Why Allah is punishing me? Why it is me? If anyone goes through difficult times, hardships, difficulty, disease, money loss, something of that sort, any difficult time, these young teenagers, not 2-year, 5-year-old boy, these teenagers and adults, they say, why me? And even the adults, in particular the women, but all the teenagers, this is very common. Why me? Why Allah is punishing? Allah is not punishing you, man. You don't understand? Allah does not punish anyone. But we deserve if we get the punishment. Allah is most merciful. Look here. وَلَئِنْ أَزَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِنَّا رَحْمَةً, when we make the man taste the mercy from us, ثُمَّ نَزَعْنَاهَا مِنْهُ, then if we take it out, whatever we taste the ni'mah, the grace, which will we give to the person, if we take it out, إِنَّهُ لَيَئُوسٌ كَفُورٌ, he is despondent and he is ungrateful. वो मायूस हो जाता है, नाउमीद हो जाता है बिल्कुल, ज़ारे से परेशानी में. So we have to teach our children. وَلَئِنْ أَزَقْنَاهُ نَعْمَاءَ بَعْدَ ضَرَّاءٍ مَسَّتْهُ, and if we make the person taste the blessings and the bliss after the harm or the adversity had afflicted him, لَيَقُولَنَّ ذَهَبَ السَّيِّئَاتُ أَنِّي, all the evils have gone away from me. إِنَّهُ لَفَرِحٌ فَخُورٌ, he is rejoicing and he is boastful. Now he is very happy because he has got a good time. But when the bad time comes, he becomes very despondent, he becomes ungrateful. He should be grateful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before and after, he has sent the bliss and the blessings and the favor and the grace. So if for a short while we get bad time, we should pray to Allah to remove it rather than become despondent. And we have to teach our children. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, except those who endure with patience and they do good righteous deeds. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ, those are the people who will have forgiveness, وَأَجْرٌ كَبِيرٌ, and great reward. Now this is very tricky. Man kana yuridu al-hayat ad-dunya, the one who wants this worldly life, wazinataha, and its beauty and adornment, its embellishment, nuwaffi alayhim a'malahum fiha, then we give him a lot. Wahum fiha la yubkhasun, and they will not be given any less. Ulaika allazina laysa lahum fil akhirah, the trouble is they will have nothing in the life hereafter. Why? Because they only want it for this world. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give, no problem. Whoever wants this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give, but they will have nothing thereafter. That's the reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us in Quran, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana. Whenever we ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should ask for both. And you know, what we ask, that's the reason I was telling one day, I think, that the dua, which is masnoon dua from either Quran or Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those dua, I mean, nothing will come equivalent. To be very honest, we do not know even how to do dua. Doesn't make sense. So we should try to go through the meaning of those masnoon dua. It's so concentrated, so heavy. Because then we would know what to ask for. I give you one example. How many times do we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, give me the hikmah. Give me the hikmah. Give me the wisdom. How many times have we asked? We ask for all sorts of things. For khatma bil khair, a good death, for Jannah, for more rizq halal or rizq tayyib, and this, that, and the other. How many times do we ask? We don't. Usually we don't ask that we are crying that, oh Allah, give me hikmah. No, we cry for give me money, give me resources, give me position, but give me hikmah. Quran says, yutil hikmata man yasha. He gives the hikmah to whoever he wills. وَمَنْ يُوتَ الْحِكْمَةَ, and the one who was given hikmah, فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. Yeah, who is telling? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself telling, whoever is given the hikmah and the wisdom, he is given the khair kasir. So why don't we ask for it? Because we don't know. We don't know that it is that khair kasir. Because that's the reason the hikmah opens the heart, increases the iman. It is the hikmah, is the critical thinking, is the wisdom, is the aql. Thus there is in Quran over and over again. Ya ulil albab, ya ulil albab, ya ulil albab. Afala yatadabbarun, afala yatafakkarun, afala yaqilun. My God. Quran is umpteen time. In one page you might find two, hatta ki in one ayah twice it has come. But we don't think, we don't ponder, we don't use our wisdom, we don't critically analyze the things. So that's what we should do. Now look here. Masalul fariqain kal ama wal asam. The two fariq, the two group or two person are like, number one is ama, is blind, wal asam, and deaf. Wal basir was sami, and the other one is the one who could see and the one who could hear. Hal yastavayane masala. Can the two examples could be equal? Same. The one is blind and deaf, and the other one is the one who could see and hear. How can they be equal? Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling, Afala tazakkarun, don't you take heed? Nasiyat nahi pakadte? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling this because He is making a point. Now, we have got a lot of, I have seen people, they will say, oh, about big scholar, he has stayed in my house. He is relating himself to a big scholar. He has stayed in my house. I know him very well, I'm very close to him. He's trying to get his relationship with that sheikh, that scholar. Yeah, we all very rampant in our society and community. Because that's the beauty of reading Quran, understanding it. Then it's, oh, wow, okay. Now look here now. Quran, what it says. وَنَادَى نُوحُ رَبَّهُ. This is still Surah Hud. And Nuh alayhi salam, he called out his Lord, his Rabb. فَقَالَ, then he said, Rabbi, O my Lord, inna ibni, certainly my son, min ahli, is my family member, wa inna wa'daka al-haq, and your promise is true, wa anta ahkamul hakimin, and you are the best of the judges. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had promised him that his family member, his ahl will be saved. But his son, he could see in the waves of that tufan. He knew, Nuh alayhi salam, that he's gone. So he is calling out his Lord that you promised, and your promise is truth, and he is my ahl. Now say what? Qala, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya Nuh, O Nuh, innahu laysa min ahlik. He is not your family member. Huh? His son. His son. He is telling Nuh Islam just now, he told. Ibni, he is my son. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, not your family member. Innahu amalun ghayru salih. Because his amal is unrighteous. How can it be he is your family member? Nuh alayhi salam. And look, not only that he was told, look what else happens. فَلَا تَسَلْنِي, do not address me, do not ask me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ ilm, which you have got no knowledge of. إِنِّي أَعِظُكَ, I admonish you, أَن تَكُونَ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ, that you become one of the ignorant one. Allah ta'ala ne keh diya, Nuh alayhi salam ko, jahil mat bano, don't be ignorant. You're calling him as your son, he is not your son. नूह अलैहिस्सलाम को डांट पड़ गई. देख रहे हैं आप. And what do we do with the bigger scholars? They are bigger scholars, no problem, but I don't do much of a good job, so I'm trying to have myself somehow that I've got a very good relationship. He stays at my home, and I met him here, met them there, and this, that, and the other. Nuh alayhi salam, no good for his son, because he was unrighteous. Simply by relating oneself to the sheikh or buzurg and a scholar, come on now, we are living in fool's paradise. Because the question will be very simple. What have you done? Give the accountability. And it's coming. Innal hasanat yuzhibna sayyi'at. Certainly the good deeds, they take away or remove the evils or the bad deeds. Zalika zikra lizakirin. This is the admonition for the people who want to remember. Now Surah Yusuf. And there are some people here who have got children of that age. I always tell that you must encourage, and you must tell also the story of Yusuf alayhi salam to the young boys and young girls, the teenagers, because this is the time of fitna for these teenagers. So make sure that you relate them Surah Yusuf. They must, and if they could memorize it, even better. Now this is again Makki Surah. You know how Surah Yusuf was revealed? These Bani Israel, what they did was, they will go and ask this man, he claims himself to be prophet. Go and ask him, how did Bani Israel go to Egypt while they lived in Palestine? So, because it was not, this information was not rampant among the Arabs. They didn't know how the Bani Israel went to Egypt, because they lived in Palestine before that, and even after, and even up till now they claim. But how did they go to Egypt? Go and ask this man, under bracket Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. These Bani Israel, they used to ask pork. The Arabs had no clue because it was not known things, but the Bani Israel knew. So they knew, Bani Israel, that either Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will not be able to answer because he does not know, or he will ask a Bani Israel behind the people's back in the night, or sometimes secretly he will ask, and then he will respond to the Bani Israel. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals Surah Yusuf. Lo and behold, the full detailed information. So they wanted to humiliate or make Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam feel as if he is an imposter, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, boom. So Surah Yusuf, that's how it was revealed. And it's a beautiful surah. I will only mention a few things. Number one, the jealousy and envy is real. Because Yaqub alayhi salam told his son Yusuf alayhi salam, when he saw the dream, don't tell your other brothers. Remember? They may plot against you. So even in the family member, jealousy and envy is genuine. So we have to just ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us away from these things. There is no question they had jealousy and envy among the brothers. And it has got the full detail, I can't go into detail. We have to highlight to our children and for us as well, the pak damani, the iffat, pakizgi, sharm, haya, chastity, the bashfulness, the decency, these sort of characteristics and qualities among our children and among ourselves. That look at the chastity of Yusuf alayhi salam, a very highly positioned, high rank lady, beautiful lady, and she tries to seduce and attract Yusuf alayhi salam. But look at the character of Yusuf alayhi salam, subhanallah. Look at Yusuf alayhi salam. So we get the lesson from there. Even though a high-ranking lady is trying to seduce him or attract him, but he does not yield. He just simply sticks to the principles, to his chastity, to his bashfulness, to his haya, to his decency, to his sham. So and we have to, because here in the West, these children, they are growing up, don't expect no sharm or haya from them. What sharm or haya, man? They know at age 7 or 8 or 9, they know more than when I did not know even when I became full doctor. Yeah, they know that much. Because the sort of exposure they have got, there is no haya. I mean, in the eyes of these girls who are growing up, what haya are you asking for? So we have to teach them Surah Yusuf. Look at Yusuf alayhi salam, that he accepted to go to jail, to prison, rather than accept the call of that high-ranking lady. When he goes there, in the jail, when two people came, the jailmate, that we have seen the dream, then what does he do? He says, well, before you get the food, I will tell you the answer. Why he keeps them waiting? Dawah, tabligh. He's doing dawah work. And then he said, don't you think that too many lords, too many Rabb is no good? One God is better, one Rabb is better. And he keeps on, and he explains to them. Dawah work. He does not forget even in jail. So he accepts the jail over being seduced by the high-ranking lady. When he goes to the jail, he is still doing the dawah work. And then these two people would carry on. Now, he tries at the end, I have to cut short, at the end, before that the Aziz of Misr, or the Malik of the king of Egypt, he asked him to come after he told about the interpretation of the dream, that 7 fat cows are being eaten up or swallowed up by the 7 thin cows. And he saw 7 green ears of crops and 7 dry ears. So what is the meaning? So he told the meaning, and that's how the people were saved. So what did he ask for first? When that man remembered at that time, oh yes, I forgot. Yusuf had told me to talk about me to the king, but he forgot. Now he remembered the interpretation of dream, because he has already faced the interpretation of dream, the 2 dreams, and both were right about him, that he saw in the dream that he is squeezing the grapes for his master, है ना, अंगूर को निचोड़ रहा है, यानी शराब बना रहा है. That's how that you will be safe and secure, and your punishment will be forgiven. And the other saw that on his head is the bread which the birds are eating, so say you will be hanged, and then the birds will eat from your head. And that's what happened. So then what does he do? Yusuf alayhi salam first say, ask those women who cut their hands with the knife, what do they think about me now? So they all said in unison, one voice, that we have not seen anything bad in Yusuf. He was chaste. So first of all, he got himself out of that. Then Yaqub alayhi salam, he always keeps on talking about Yusuf alayhi salam. And then the people say, you are in Zalalik al-Qadim, you are Purane Khabt mein tum ab tak mubtala ho bure aadmi. The people, family members, they start telling him that in the old sort of dreams, you are still living in. And then he said, I'm not in despondence, I'm not in despair. Does it make sense? And a believer cannot be in despondence. So again, to strengthen and emphasize my point, that Yaqub alayhi salam said so. So we have to have that faith in ourselves. Doesn't matter how bad the circumstances are, a Muslim cannot be in despair, despondent. That's the reason a believer can never commit suicide. Because why do the people commit suicide? They are depressed. They are in despondence. They are in hopeless situation. They think that their situation cannot ever be good. A believer always have got a hope. You see that now? And that's the reason I always tell my wife and my children, there is no other person lucky than me. Why? Because I have got such a being, majestic being to hold on to. Doesn't matter how bad the situation, I have got someone, that is Allah. I have got some hope in there. What else? Who else has got a hope? No one, except the believer. So therefore, it increases our iman. And then Yusuf alayhi salam, he said thanks and shows gratefulness to Allah. So again, because he went through difficult time, he was thrown in the well by his brothers and so on, then thrown in the jail. So he showed gratefulness to Allah for whatever he achieved. He is showing gratefulness to Allah. Not that I have got a lot of money or higher position. It is my hard work, because I got higher education and I worked very hard. That's the reason I got this money and I got this. Come on now. You see the labor class when they work hard. And I always tell my children, the labor class, the people who till the land, the manual worker, the labor class, they work very hard. What do they get at the end? Not much. So don't say that you worked hard for your money. It's Allah who has given you, He's testing you. Now there is another lesson here. And another lesson is, just like we always laugh at the brothers of Yusuf, but we are doing the same thing to we are like the Bradran Yusuf. We are like Yusuf brothers. We are doing to our qawm. We are selling them. We are not helping them. We are like the brothers of Yusuf. This is my money and that's it. But what about the share of the destitute, the poor, the orphans, the widows, your blood relatives? Nothing of the sort. So I will leave that, but Surah Yusuf I would advise you, I have not talked in detail, just few points I have highlighted. You should read in detail. It's beautiful. And in particular for teenagers, young people and young girls. Surah Ra'd, again at the last phase of Meccan phase, 12 Nabu prophethood, 12 year of prophethood, 11 year of prophethood, something of that sort, close to that time. That this was revealed when Muslims were persecuted very badly. Rasulullah's Quran says, this surah, that Rasulullah has lived a life among you man. Haven't you see with your eyes his character, his lifestyle, his behavior? Have you not tested his kindness, his generosity, his mercy, his politeness, his softness? Have you not tested? If he never spoke lies, why would he say suddenly out of blue, after so many years living with you, and suddenly he says that there is no God but Allah? He has never lied. So why would he lie? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to sort of tell the people, and you will find in this ayah. And the people knew that he is true. Still they denied. You remember that famous incident of Abu Jahl. Come on now. You used to look after the water or the drinking facility for the pilgrims. You used to look after the food. We used to look after the most precious thing, that is security and peace. So we were equal. Now you say that you have got a prophet among you. What on earth? What am I going to do? You see that now? It's jealousy. It's envy. That we are not equal anymore. You got prophethood. What can I say now? So in this Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the mal and the wealth is, you could make it either way. Either it will be a fitna that you will have to give accountability on the day of resurrection, or you could make it as a means of closeness to Allah. How can we be close by wealth? By spending it in the way of Allah as much as we can. And then Quran stresses again, we'll come back to it. And then it says the benefits of Iman and the adverse effect if someone does not believe in, because then he will enter in the eternal hell. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that although he is Alim and Khabir, Allah is aware. However, he does not only rely on his ilm and on his khabar or news or information. He also has got his workers in the form of angels, and they are keeping record all the time what a person does. So when we read this, but in particular I will emphasize today on this ayah. Remember this, it is in Surah Ra'd. Ra'd means, sorry, it's my fault, I didn't explain. Ra'd means thunderbolt. Bijli jab kadakti na, kad 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 jo karti, the thunderbolt, that is Ra'd. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيُسَبِّهُ الرَّعْدُ بِحَمْدِهِ, and the thunder sings the praise and the glory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that now we don't understand, but we do not understand, that doesn't mean anything. It does. It sings the glory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether we understand or we don't understand, that's regardless. But Quran again, Surah Ra'd, remember this. Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin. Certainly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not change the state of a qawm. Hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim, till they change their own selves, themselves. So, remember the first what I was telling? It is not the lack of leadership, man. When the leadership we get, you will not be able to believe. I can hear more than dozen leaders' name I could take in Indian subcontinent. An Indian subcontinent was, you could say, the center of Islam. You're not going to believe me, yeah, of course. Not the other part of the world, Indian subcontinent. We had a scholar, they used to write the Tafseer of Quran in 7 volumes in Arabic first, translated into other language, Urdu and Persian later. Arabic first. So, and during the whole Ottoman Caliphate, actually, India was the main. That's very close. That's the Khilafat movement and all that. Where do you hear that? Very, very close. All the scholars. So the relationship, the bond was very strong. So we keep on talking. And in 20s, if I name you the Muslim leader's name, you would not be able to count. Big names. What did we do with them? No. And similarly, when we get good leader, we somehow just mess it up with them. And that's it. And also, the opponent's agenda is to make our leaders tarnished image, bad image, so that we have got propaganda against these scholars. You will hear every now and then, yeah, of course, all the scholars are hopeless. And we have got a tendency to brush under the carpet. We will not analyze people. We will analyze everything else. But all religious, yeah, of course, religious scholars are no good. This is not right. Because we get leadership. So we have to be very selective. We have to change ourselves, each one of us, and then only the situation of the Qawm will change. It will not change by magic wand. It will not change by Ya Allahu. It has never changed before. It has changed because the people made an organized planning. They worked for it. They sacrificed for it. They meant it. And therefore they got success at the end. They changed their situation. But we want to change our situation either by doing some virda wazifa. It is not going to happen. It has never happened. Sahaba did not. Sahaba did not sit down in the mosque and they kept on counting 30 or 100 times. Sahaba kept on wounding the horse's back, wife and children here, and he himself somewhere else. And he is spreading the message of Islam everywhere. That's how we are going to change. We have to transform our personality. We have to change our character. We are no good in character. We have to find it out. And every time Quran says, you change yourself, your situation will change. I will finish in 4 or 5 minutes. No, it's still Surah Hud. أَفَمَنْ يَعْلَمُ أَنَّمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ الْحَقِّ كَمَنْ هُوَ أَعْمَى. Do you think that that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed onto the person, he will be like a blind person? إِنَّمَا يَتَذَكَّرُ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. Certainly only the men of understanding and the men of intelligence and the men of acumen, they are the people who heed the call. So what do we need? Men of understanding. Oh Allah, now from tonight I am going to do dua. Oh Allah, give me the understanding. Give me the aql. Money, forget about it. It might come with it. Of course I need it. But first thing is first. See that now? So we should ask, Ulil albab, in everywhere is aql. Yeah? Because when a person will be taken to hell, driven towards the hell, you know, Allah khazanataha, salahum khazanataha, alam ya'takum nazir. The guardian of the hellfire will ask, driving on one hand to the Jahannam, but still those guardians will ask, didn't your warner come to you? Salahum khazanataha, alam ya'takum nazir. डांटने वाला डराने वाला नहीं आया था. قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير. وقالوا further on, وقالوا لو كنا نسمع और नाक़िल ما कुन्ना फ़ी अस्हाबि सईर. काश के अक़ल का इस्तेमाल किया होता. तो आज से दुआ करें अल्लाह ताला से कि अल्लाह अक़ल दे, समझ दे, हिकमत दे. Allazina yufuna bi'adillah. Do you see how many times Allah Ta'ala keeps on talking about to fulfill the ahad? Are we known in the world that the Muslims, if they make a promise, they will fulfill? They make a covenant, they will fulfill. They make a contract, they will fulfill. Are we known in the world as this? We are known for breaking it. But Quran keeps on talking about all the time. Awfu bi'ahdi ufi bi'ahdikum. Fulfill your covenant, I will fulfill your covenant. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling to the believers, fulfill your covenant, fulfill your contract, fulfill your promise, I will fulfill my side of the bargain. But we don't. So why not? So what do we read here anyway? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, keep on listening, وَلَا يَنْقُضُونَ الْمِيثَاقَ, and they do not violate the covenant. Not only fulfill the covenant, they do not violate it. وَالَّذِينَ يَسَلُونَ مَا أَمْرَ اللَّهِ بِهِ يُسَلَى, and they join what has been advised, ordered to join. What has been ordered to join?
Kinship.
Huh?
Kinship.
Sorry?
Kinship.
Kinship. Blood relatives. That has been ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to join. But so I'm in England, why should I care about my cousin, what he is going through in back home? I mean, it's from one raham. And the cousin in England is such a distant relationship that as if he is not a I was told by my cousin when I came 1977, my cousin, he's introduced me, he is my father friend. My father friend. My cousin is my cousin because his mother is from here or somewhere else from the west. So he obviously grew up. He says, he's telling about me, he's my father friend, I am his cousin. So, no, there is nothing to laugh. I feel worried about my children, that because they are here, they are not seeing their cousins. What sort of a relationship? Cousin hand in hand and they are sleeping together, go walking together. What sort of a relationship they got? They have never seen this. So anyway, we could do that still from here through we could look after them, we could find it out what shape they are in, we could help them if we can, and so on. وَيَخْشَوْنَ رَبَّهُمْ, and they fear their Lord. وَيَخَافُونَ سُوءَ الْحِسَابِ, and they dread the bad accountability. Quran, it does not give you respite from hisab. Inna alayna ayyabahum summa inna alayna hisabahum. Mere paas, you will turn to me, I will take your accountability. Hisab mere zimma. Look, just now you will see. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swift in reckoning. Sari'ul hisab. All the time, hisab, hisab, hisab. But do we think about, my God, hisab dena yaar Allah ko. I have to give accountability to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَخَافُونَ سُوءَ الْحِسَابِ, they fear the tough accountability. وَالَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا ابْتِغَاءَ وَجْهِ رَبِّهِمْ, and they show patience, seeking pleasure of their Lord. وَأَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ, they are steadfast in their prayer. وَأَنْفَقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ, and they spend whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them, سِرًّا وَعَلَانِيَةً, openly and in a hidden way. وَيَدْرَعُونَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ السَّيِّئَةِ, and they remove the evil by goodness. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ Now these are the people who have got a good result and good end with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think I should stop here. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give the glimpses and the flashes, some important parts. Everything is important in Quran. Who will say this is important, that is not important? What I mean is relevant and pertinent to us at the moment, that we are in bad shape because we don't read it and we don't understand the importance of changing our lifestyle, our character, our personality. Rasulullah ﷺ said, I came here to perfect the akhlaq. To perfect the akhlaq. Where is the emphasis on akhlaq? From the children, don't speak lie. A believer is honest. He is tolerant. He is forgiving. He shows forbearance. And a believer is the one who is reliable. He is dependable. He is trustworthy. A believer is the one who fulfills his promises, who fulfills all his covenants and promises, whatever he has made. Where is it? A believer is soft spoken. Quran is full of it, isn't it? Soft spoken. He went to Fir'aun when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Musa alayhi salam, Harun alayhi salam. Izhaba ila Fir'aun innahu tagha faqula lahu qawlan layyinan. Layyinan? Go and talk to Fir'aun. Talk softly. But what do? Rudely, loudly. Where is the softest spokenness is taught to our children, or I have been taught? Never. So in other words, if we develop those qualities, believe me, everyone will like us. وجزاكم الله خير. ربنا إننا آمنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم تقبل منا صيامنا وقيامنا وركوعنا وسجودنا وصدقاتنا يا رب العالمين. وصلى الله على خير خلقه محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.